it's our comb-over report. That means Donald Trump time. He has now filed the paperwork to make his presidential bid official, though he still hasn't done his financial disclosure form. Donald is also doing well in the first primary state. He is now in, get this, second place behind Jeb Bush in New Hampshire. Christie, hang on, you'll have your time in a second. Christie is in sixth place. Now that has got to make Christie mad, and that means it's time for some anger mismanagement.
Anytime you like.
We are using all of our graphics in this segment. Something else that's going to get the governor angry. His poll numbers are plummeting in his home state. His approval rating is now all the way down to 30%. That is an all-time low. I now offer you this thesis, gentlemen, that Donald Trump is a more viable presidential candidate than Christie.
Are you surprised?
So hostile to Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the man
what's so
for
shocking?
me. That is the Republican nominee. Are you kidding? He has the money. He has the articulateness.
You're daydreaming aside.
Come on. But seriously, Andrew, because a few, and this is not directed at you, because a few media pundits with their nose up in the air say that say that he's not a viable candidate. As I tried to tell you guys, and you guys say I'm always crazy. I could have told you on day one, Donald Trump is a player.
And you did, but this is a guy who was on the short list for Mitt Romney in 2012. They vetted him as a running for vice president. There were a lot of people who wanted
you say short list.
Short list, I did. There were a lot of people who wanted Christie. The other list came later. The other list came later. But there were a lot of people who wanted Christie. Ken Langone wanted Christie to run for president 4 years ago. Now he's getting eclipsed by the comb-over.
Yeah, well, that was before Bridgegate. It was before we found out how he can behave in office. We've said it before. I don't think he's a real candidate. I don't think he has any. I don't think Trump is either. So I mean, you haven't put anybody there who has a chance.
And that's the point. That Donald Trump is so obviously a joke of a candidate. I mean, he might get some numbers.
That's what you said.
Media bias.
Right.
No, that's my bias. I'm not representing the entire media in this. You're telling me. I know you want him to be the nominee because it's better for the Democrats.
Yeah, well,
but Donald Trump is a joke. Yes.
No. Donald Trump is a mainstream Republican. Now that might be a joke, but He
didn't give you a check. He gave so many Democrats checks.
No checks. Never got a penny.
He's not a mainstream Republican. He's fighting this trade.
He's in second place in the
showman.
polls.
That's because he has a television show.
That makes him
he has a
mainstream.
television show. He's a guy that's been on television.
He said we're gonna put up the border and have the Mexicans pay for it. Give me a break.
Andrew, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
How do you refer to somebody who's a billionaire as a joke?
As a presidential candidate, he's a joke. As a developer, he's less of a joke. But as a presidential candidate, he's a joke.
Interesting enough, you're exactly wrong. It's as a developer that he's a joke. As a president candidate, he's a moderate. He's good looking.
He's a great showman.
Scott, Bill, you are both what I would consider mainstream Republicans, down the middle. When you hear people like Brodsky saying that Donald Trump, not in this case, saying that Donald Trump is a mainstream Republican, I mean, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, what's really going to bother me is if he gets in the debates, because he's going to make him.
You already know he's in the debate.
I know, and that's where it stops being funny as far as I'm concerned. But I don't think anyone considers Donald Trump a mainstream Republican. Richard's having fun with this, but Donald Trump is Donald Trump.
He's nobody.
He's in a category of his own. I mean, he's not.
Scott?
Hillary prays every night for Donald Trump. They couldn't be happier. They'd love to see, because he doesn't know anything. He can't articulate it very well. He hates Mexicans. I mean, what else are you going to do?
He's a mainstream Republican.
You could not smile any wider right now.
Just a canyon of a smile over there.
All right, so let me turn to the Republican side of the table again. If you're one of the top tier Republicans, if you're Jeb Bush or Scott Walker or Marco Rubio, who seems like they're emerging as the top tier, who do you want on the debate stage with you less, Donald Trump or Christie?
You want Christie over Donald Trump. Donald Trump will suck the oxygen out of the room.
Completely.
He'll make a spectacle of the debate. You do not want Donald Trump there. The headline coming out of the debate will be something that Trump did, I guarantee it.
Scott, even though if Christie catches fire in a debate, which would seem to be his natural element, he could theoretically do more damage to that top tier group?
But he has a better understanding of government. He's been at least an executive in government and understands that part. So he would bring some substance to the debate, which Trump cannot do. I don't care if he studies from now till the election. He will not understand American diplomacy or government. Won't do it.
I just pray that the press corps takes him seriously as a candidate at some point, and Donald Trump, and pushes him as they would really question a real candidate on issues and drill down on him when he says
But
something
you
outrageous
know,
and see how he handles
you
it.
know, Bill, you're an expert. You know that's not going to happen
I know it's not.
until the press builds him up.
I know.
So we're going to have great fun.
It's good. It's exactly what the country does not need right now. It needs a serious dialogue.
Trump for president, 914-555-1212.
And
Ask for Andrew Witness.
sadly for all of us, Brodsky gets the last word on this. All right, we've had the comb-over report and anger mismanagement, and now to complete our graphics trifecta, well, there's this. Uh-oh, Pedro. Haven't used this one in just a while, but the former Senate Majority Leader Pedro Espada just lost his appeal. Espada was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison for embezzling money from a healthcare network that he founded. It looks now as though he's going to be behind bars for the remainder of that term. Not really that big a deal, just wanted to get it in so we could get all three of those graphics in the same segment.
Somewhere a sushi restaurant is crying.
Right, crying real tears. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, if Governor Cuomo calls you, you better pick up because he's got ways to find you and talk to you whether you like it or not. Stay with us.